So what we have here is all I did was I took the salt pork out of the bag, rinsed it off, put it in the little Pathfinder bush pot here. Got good hot coals down there, so now we're just cooking away on that. And while I had that going, all I did was I quartered a potato, and kind of like in long strips, and then I just cut these pieces between 1/4 and 1/2 inch. Doesn't have to be exact. And I'm just gonna dump those bad boys right in that pot. Nothing to it but to do it. So just dump those in there, and I might top the pot off with a little bit of water just to make sure that all the potatoes are covered. That way, as everything's cooking down, they get cooked as well. And this water is not going to be the water that'll be in there when we eat this. I'm going to go ahead and let it cook, and then when it's fully cooked, I will change the water out and then let it just kind of simmer for a little while longer, just to get all the rest of the salt out. And I'll probably add a little bit of Old Bay to it just to make sure it has some good flavor. All right, get those down. Let's get my jug of water. And I often just fill this up and carry it in my hand up here, because carrying a whole gallon of water in my pack would be pretty heavy, and there's really no water around here, at least not within easy walking distance. So any water that I want to drink or cook with, I pretty much have to bring in, unless I want to keep hiking back to my vehicle and just have a big can there full of water. That's absolutely an option, but I'd rather just carry it up here in one shot. There we go. Oh, I lost a couple of taters. Tater down. I'll just throw those in there. This one's relatively clean. It can go in. There we go. Put that where it's hot. Nothing to it but to do it. I'll catch you in a minute. All right, here's what we have going on now. So the fire is just cooking away, and I'm burning just enough wood to keep generating coals to scrape up underneath the bush pot. Just want to keep it, simmering to cook the potatoes and the pork and all that. And then, like I said, after that, I'll change out the water if it needs it. If I got all the salt out, then I'll go with it. But if it's still pretty salty, I'll change it out and I'll let it go for a little while longer. But let me turn you around here. All right, got you back. So while that's cooking, I'm gonna go ahead and have a pipe. This one is 7LA 320, affectionately known as a upside down doggy wiener. So that's how it's referred to by my wife. So, but hey, as long as she's not mad at me for smoking pipes, I can't really complain, right? So I brought with me a little bit of Mississippi River. It's not my favorite one because it has like this very slight vinegar kind of a tinge to it, or like a tingle to it, but it's not bad. It's not horrible. It's tolerable for an English, I do like English blends more than aromatics, just because they're more on the savory side, whereas to me an aromatic is kind of like a dessert or something like that, So let's load this bad boy up and I'll get back to you. So I don't know if any of you are interested in pipe smoking at all. I've been doing this, I've been smoking cigars longer, probably about, oh God, I should probably quit now. It's been probably been 11 or 12 years now. But this comes in kind of a crumble cake type form. So what you have to do is sort of, if you want to do it that way, you can take it between your palms, put a little bit in there, those little cakes, see that? And you kind of rub it between your hands, and it rubs out and becomes a very loose tobacco. So then I'll take a pinch and drop it in the bowl, And this one I will tamp down very light. Then I'll take another pinch and I will tamp it down a little slightly more firm, but still pretty light. A little bit more. All right, and I'm gonna take this last pinch, stick it in here. I don't want it any more than a 1/4 inch over the bowl. And I'm just gonna use my fingers on this one and just press it down, not hard, but just pretty firm. Somebody described this as sort of a shaking hands method, where you shake hands with a baby and that's gonna be very light pressure. Then you shake hands with a lady, it's going to be a medium light pressure, and then you shake hands with a grown man and it's a pretty firm pressure. So you do 3, one very light pinch, one that's tamped a little bit harder, and then one that's tamped a little bit harder than that. What is hard is kind of up to you for experimentation, because I don't have a force gauge here to tell you exactly you know, what amount of weight that I'm putting on it, or what amount of force I'm putting on it. So, all right, then charring light. And now, mind you, I'm not trying to light this to smoke it just yet. I'm just getting it charred to where it's started, you know what I mean? I'll let that burn down just a little bit. I'll just puff on it, you know, gently. Just kind of sipping it. And I'll just let that go till it goes out, and then I'll tamp it down again, and that'll be the actual light. And that'll be to, you know, actually go ahead and just smoke it down as far as we can. See, it's already gone out. So we'll tamp that all down. All right, all that, whew, got me in the eye. All that amazing flavor is coming through now. So I'm gonna go ahead and puff away and, you know, watch the trees grow. What a lot of folks do is called the breathing method. So you, as you're breathing, you allow your mouth to breathe a little bit, but you're not bringing the smoke into your lungs. Don't do that. That probably wouldn't be a good time for you. Just allow your mouth to bring in air back and forth through the pipe. So that's all there is to it. It's not real complicated. It's very enjoyable. Um, can't say I would recommend it, because it's, you know, it's obviously not the greatest habit. It's probably not all that healthy for you, but it's probably not as bad for you as a lot of other things either, which doesn't necessarily make it good, but it's definitely an enjoyable time. It's relaxing, and there's a ton of tobaccos to experiment with. And You know, this is, like I said, not one of my favorite blends normally, but out here, I'm really digging it all of a sudden. I don't know why. This tobacco might be a little on the wet side. I didn't exactly give it time to dry out or anything, and it is kind of humid out here. I don't know if that affects it much, but all right. If you stood with me through that, then maybe you're interested, maybe you're not, maybe you're appalled. I don't know, but hopefully you find something that you enjoy like I enjoy this, no matter what it is. So I'll catch you in a little bit. Well, good morning, everybody. How's it going? The night wasn't too bad. Only little issue is I woke up and there was this sticky, just really tacky sap-like substance all over my tent. And I'm thinking to myself, I don't ever remember brushing up against any trees or anything like that. So I was kind of wondering if they were maybe spraying something last night. Well, I started looking at the trees and there's this sap coming off the tree, but there's no damage to the tree like normal. It's just sap, it's just dripping off of the little pine needles and all that. Well, I started doing some research on it and come to find out that the stuff that is all over my tent is aphid crap. So, uh, yeah, they've been just emptying their bowels on my tent all night. So my tent's pretty sweet right now, let me tell you, because aphids, from the research that I've done, it's shown that they can't absorb all the sugar that they get from this tree sap. So they basically crap like a sugar syrup type stuff. And evidently Native Americans used to put this stuff in their food and make things with it. It's basically like a candy to them. Uh, I think they call it honeydew. But yeah, I got a little on my hat, tried to rub it off the best I could. Maybe a little aphid crap would give the hat character, who knows. Um, but being all over my tent, I don't know what I'm going to do with that. Only thing I can think of doing is rolling it up, and putting the bottom of the tent towards the outside of the roll so it'll slide in and out of the little sleeve normally. And then maybe what I'll do is just soak it in a bucket of warm water, not hot water, but just lukewarm water, and see if it'll get all that kind of stuff off of there. Because all I really want is for it, when I go to unpack it next time, I don't want it to be all stuck together and, tear apart because of all this sticky crap that's all over it. So, yeah, that was as funny as long as I've been going out in the woods and all that, which is basically my entire life. I never knew anything about aphids doing that. Otherwise, I'd have parked my tent in a different spot. But it is what it is now. We'll just deal with it. But anyway, for now, I'm gonna cook up a little bit of breakfast. It was going to be potato, sausage, eggs, and cheese all in one bag, kind of like a breakfast pile. I think that's what some restaurants call it. And in the other bag, I was going to do a little Bisquick biscuit, but I forgot the sausage and cheese. So I'm not going to bother cooking the potato. I'm just going to cook the eggs in one bag. I'm going to cook the Bisquick in the other bag, and you know, make some coffee out of the hot water that's left because I'm using the bags. And I'll have a pipe with my coffee, and we'll call it a day. All right, I've just cut the stove off. Everything is still hot. But so here we go. We've got some bread. I broke it up a little bit while I was checking to make sure it was done, but it's done all the way through. I love bread that's baked this way now because it stays really moist. You don't get that dry, bread that you have to drink a gallon of water with, to get it down. So that's good. And let's see, eggs. Yeah, looks like that'll work to me. Now, I could have left them in the shells and just hard boiled them along with the bread, but to be truthful, I didn't want one of those to break and me have to clean this damn pot again or, boil up some more fresh water in order to make my coffee. So I put it in the bag just to be safe. So, all right, well, let's go ahead and eat. All right, nothing to it but to do it. Here's the taste test. on that Bisquick. Man, a little honey on that. And I have some in there, but I'm trying not to. See, this is why I'm fat right here. Food is just so good all the time. And as soon as you set foot into the woods or the desert or anywhere outdoors, wherever you go, it gets just a little bit better when you get there. Uh-oh. See some clouds building up. I might have to pack up and split before it gets too crazy. My egg. You can actually just twist it up to the top and just eat it like a push pop or something. I can actually just dump it into this bag with this bread and eat it together. There it is. Now I have that bag to use as a trash bag. And I have my egg and bread in there. I'm sorry it doesn't look very appetizing, but it tastes good, I guarantee you that. Ooh, look at that yolk, that's perfect. Beautiful. Do a little bit of that, do a little bit of that bread. That's stupid. Much worse. Well, excuse me, I'm sorry for eating in front of you. There are things going through my head that I want to say, but I can't I can't stop eating. Man, if this got any better, the people in Washington would be trying to ban it right now. You know? I had to call it Brandon's breakfast. Nah, too good for that. When I think of that, I think of maybe nursing home oatmeal. But we'll get through it. All right, I'm gonna shut this off so you don't have to sit here and watch me eat this whole time. I will get back to you in a minute. Hey, I just wanted to show you something real quick. I know in the past I've been kind of a purist about you know, cooking everything, you know, the right way, or taking the grounds and boiling them, you know, like cowboy coffee and all that kind of stuff. And I still do that at home. I do that every day. I don't use a Keurig or a coffee maker or anything. You know, we just boil our coffee in a little pot, and that's how we do it every single day. But out here, I find myself wanting to just enjoy being out here more, and not having to do quite so much while I'm here. So, um, this little Stanley cup, if you get these from any Asian food market, 2 of these in the Stanley cup is perfect. Perfect. There's already non-dairy creamer and sugar already in these packets. So just if you're cooking in a bag like I just did for your breakfast, that water that's still at the bottom that's good and hot, it's clean water and it's been boiled, you know. So while it's good and hot, just pour it in this cup. Pour 2 of these little packets in there, mix it up, and you're good to go. And it's good stuff. It's really good coffee. It actually tastes like coffee and not just creamer. You know what I mean? So I really enjoy it. Thought I might want to show it to you just to see if you know, tickle your pickle a little bit. So I'll catch you in a minute.